What up, y'all? Shots with Jay. Back at it again with another one. I got some Popeyes right here that I'm gonna be eating. Well, I'll tell you guys a story. So this is a real story about that time I saw a ghost one time. Yeah, I know. A lot of people on YouTube, and people have been saying that for many years. It's like, come on, like, how do you know it's true or whatever? But just hear me out, and you guys can comment. Let me know what you think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, all of that. Support me. So this all started pretty much. Hold up. I need to sip. Hold up. All right, so this started one time when I was with my homie. We call him Chef. So I was with Chef, right? It was like almost 3 a.m. and we were driving to work out at Planet Fitness. They didn't give me any napkins. Oh, they did. So we were driving to Planet Fitness, right? It was like 3 a.m., something like that. And on the way to Planet Fitness, there's this elementary school, right? I'm in the Valley, 956, McAllen, Texas. And this was pretty much by Seguin Elementary School. And there's nobody on the street. There's no cars going by. Hold up. And we see, I know, right? It's like the classic ass ghost. We see this girl, grudge looking style, a long ass white gown, almost like to the floor, barefoot, no shoes, nothing like that. Super duper pale skin, like long, just black hair. And we look to each other to kind of acknowledge what's going on. Like, bro, like, who the hell is that? You know what I'm saying? And it's like kind of an open area, so like even if somebody's running like Usain Bolt, like if we turn and talk with each other and we look back, we're gonna be able to spot them. You know what I mean? Like there's no way they can dodge that area of space. Well, we see the girl, and it's like a little girl, it's like a short girl, and we look to each other like, dude, like, are you seeing this? Like look at how she's dressed and everything. Like is she good? You know what I'm saying? So then we just, and it's real quick, it's just like 2 seconds, we turn back to kind of like take a look at what's going on, and she just vanished, right? Complete, like out of thin air. We look in every angle, left, right, up, down, all of that. We look, turn our heads around. So we got our heads on a swivel. We're totally looking for the girl, and we didn't find anything. And we were like, bro, chances are we like dead ass saw a ghost. So that was that, right? Well, at my job, my assistant director, we were talking about ghost stories and like the paranormal at work and stuff like that. And he tells us about the time he saw a ghost, right? So prior to him being my assistant director at my job, this dude was like a cop, right? Then he goes on to let us know he was patrolling by Seguin Elementary. And when he was driving by the elementary, he kind of patrols around the swing set, like, or the playground, like for recess and stuff like that. Not sure like how long they've been doing recess. The whole point, right, is that he describes seeing a short girl, long black hair, white gown, same thing, like to the dot, pale skin, swinging on that set. Anyway, so the whole point, right, is that he sees the girl swinging back and forth on the set. And some cop units, like at the top, like in the roof, they have like those bright ass lights that they just shine in your face, right, like to expose you or whatever. And he was telling me that he was gonna do that to let her know, like, yo, you gotta dip, you can't be here. And he tells me, right, the exact same description of the little girl, the short girl, the same area, the same place, the same everything. He puts on like the beam lights or whatever those are on the roof, And he says upon turning that on, this girl just poofed. She vanished on the swing set. So like, it's not like she ran after, and he was like looking, right? So like, no blinking, none of that. Or like, you couldn't have missed it. So this girl vanishes, right? Well, it's like, oh, well, what about your story? Like, did he know about it? He had never known my story. I had never told him. We had never talked about it. That was our first time talking about it. So me, I knew it was like for sure 1,000% a ghost at that point, because he said the same thing. Well, I had told somebody else my ghost story, and then when I told them about the Sir's story, they were just freaking out because they were like, nah, like that confirms it. That can't be a coincidence. Same spot, same girl, same area, same appearance, same everything. And that was the time I saw a ghost. I have had other experiences too, but to some they might be like questionable, like, well, how do we know, right? Well, this is different because this is testimony between several people. So just to show y'all what I'm rocking, this is my Shield Plus 16 plus 1 in the head, 17 rounds, TLR1 HLG. That's with the green laser right there. It's got on the Samsung Magwell. Awesome little setup. I like it like that. It's like my little rocket piece. So the original homie that I had seen the ghost with, he doesn't work with me, right? So he didn't know about the Sir story, my assistant director. I told him, right? So I told him what was going on, right? I told him about the Sir story, because I'm a believer that God knows everything. So he knew that I was going to hear that story. Hence, I was going to tell him. So that means in a way, he was meant to hear that story as well. You know what I'm saying? Well, anyway, so at work, I told my assistant director, hey, like, not even kidding, this is what happened to me, right? Like, I told him right after he told me that. I don't know if he really believed me. I feel like a piece of him did, but there's always like that little doubt. You know what I'm saying? I'll give it like an 85-15, something like that. You know, more or less. I told him what was going on, and he was like, really? He's like, the same this, the same that. I was like, yeah, sir, like for real, you know what I mean? Like it happened in this spot. And then he was just like, yeah, for sure, ghosts do exist. And that like secured it for me, because, you know, humans, we can't, well, ghosts are like humans, but like after death and stuff like that, they're supposed to hear. But you know what I mean? Like us living humans right now, we can't just vanish out of thin air. So that was the time I saw a ghost. And this is like, and again, this is around in elementary school. So I don't know if this is like, you know, some little girl that lived there back then. I don't know if she's like not resting in peace. I don't know if God's allowing her here for a certain reason or whatever. Now, keep in mind, I am a believer that not everybody can just see something. I believe it's if pretty much God lets you, so kind of like if you're meant to see it, you know what I'm saying? For example, if there's a ghost right now on this street where I'm sitting at eating, I don't believe every single person here would see it. I'm a believer that some set of eyes will see it and some won't. You know what I mean? Just because God has a certain purpose why some people are meant to see it and some are not. Like, some may not see it just because like they won't believe no matter what, or some will because they're meant to tell someone else, or because they're meant to crack down on some mystery, or you know what I mean? Or God maybe will let only, I don't know, the people that'll pray for the soul see it, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So most definitely not everybody can see ghosts, and I'm not saying I could see ghosts or nothing like that, but I'm saying I was meant to see this specific ghost at that specific time. I'm sure there's probably plenty of ghosts everywhere. I don't want to say plenty, but there's probably a good amount of souls that for whatever reason are still on earth. You know, they're not in heaven or hell right now. God allowed them temporary, you know, I guess just their presence here on Earth so they can figure whatever they got to figure out. You know what I'm saying? Or it could be like for a family member, you know, or something, right? Who knows? The whole point is that nothing in the world is reasonless. Everything has a reason. So that means that girl that I saw, which I definitely confirmed it with my assistant director, and like it's the real deal. Like no ands, ifs, buts, no whatever. Both of us, same story, same vanish, same. I mean, it's got to be. You know what I mean? The authenticity is there. There's a reason that she's here, and there's a reason I saw it, and there's a reason my homie saw it, and there's a reason that my assistant director saw it. You know what I mean? So I believe it was for a greater purpose. I did pray for that soul, you know, whatever she's going through, may she rest in peace. So that was definitely that time I saw a ghost, and ever since then, I guess my schedule kind of changed. So I never drove back like around 2-3 a.m. in that area. Never know. I mean, I don't even doubt that I'd bump into her or something like that. You know what I mean? I don't doubt that I'll bump into her if I go at that time. I don't doubt that I'll see her, bump into her if I go at that time. It's just my schedule's not the same right now. It's not like I'm avoiding it or something. You know, I'm meant to see it for a reason. And a lot of people think, just because there's a ghost, you're being haunted, bro. It's not necessarily like that. So, first, people got to realize what is a ghost, right? So, ghosts can be kind of switched out back and forth and properly with spirit. That's why, like some Christian denominations, you'll hear like the Holy Ghost, or others the Holy Spirit. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. A ghost is a spirit. Now, do I believe ghosts can be demons or angels? I don't know, but not necessarily. I think they're more human. It's really tough because there's a lot of crazy things out there. Like if there's aliens and stuff like that, and if they pass, if they have a, you know, intelligent IQ, consciousness, and all that, or it might be an alien ghost, man. I really don't know. But the whole point is, I think it is primarily with humans, most definitely. So a ghost is a spirit. With that being said, I'm a believer that when you die, you do go to heaven or hell. I am Catholic. So with that being said, she's supposed to be in heaven or hell. Well, or purgatory. That is my belief. So with that being said, if she was an inhabitant in heaven, you know, after her death, and if she's here, it's probably because God needed her here for her family or something, or she could have requested it. And I'm sure most of the time God tells pretty much everybody no, but there are times he does say yes. He could have granted that or something like that. Now, if it were hell though, you never know. Maybe God, maybe she had an atheist family or something. I really don't know. Maybe she had an atheist family and she's like, I don't know, God, please let me out of hell temporarily so, I don't know, my family can see that the paranormal exists and, you know, make the logical conclusion of, well, if ghosts exist, maybe demons and angels do. And if demons and angels do, maybe God and the devil does. You know what I mean? Some things like that. We just don't really know the purpose, but there is a purpose. Nothing is purposeless. Nothing. And I was actually explaining this the other day to someone, how nothing is purposeless. For instance, you see this fork? I just dropped that, right? Now, one might think that was actually purposeless. Like, there was zero reason. That changes nothing. Like, that's not going to do anything. Actually, so me dropping this, right? There's air all around us. There's dust. There's particles. Me dropping this, it changed some particles in some way around me, like the air particles, you know, even on like a micro level. You don't know if one day, because I dropped that, the air particles kind of like formed in a certain cluster, which like if I'm driving one day, they might make me sneeze, and that sneeze can cause me to crash or pass or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So everything has a domino effect, such consequences that are so far that like an average human will never think about. I do have my degree in philosophy, so that's why I'm a critical thinker or whatever. I think really deep about things, even things like that, little things like that. So with that being said, that was just kind of my proof or my evidence that nothing is purposeless or nothing is reasonless. So that is the time I saw a ghost. You know, may she rest in peace, you know what I mean? And may she get done whatever she's got to get done. Whether she's supposed to be in heaven, hell, or purgatory, I really don't know. So that's the time I saw a ghost. 1000% real story. You know, I know a lot of people on YouTube do things for like clickbait or this and that. I can honestly tell you, right? Like anytime I make these types of videos, and I know everybody says the same thing, but I can honestly tell you from the bottom of my heart, everything I say, like with stories and stuff, I 1,000,000,000% mean. I'm not sugarcoating. I'm not clickbaiting. I'm not click farming or whatever like the new term is. I'm not doing any of that. Like I really mean it 100%. And this is a true story. And so it's not just me. It's me. It's my homie. It's my assistant director. We all saw this girl vanish and poof. And according to the laws of physics, that should be impossible. That is, of course, unless the supernatural exists, which it does. So, real quick, yeah, and last time I was at mass, right, at church, and the reason really I'm also sharing this story is because the priest, right, he said like supernatural occurrences or, you know, things that people go through, they're not common. So with that being said, he was like, do you really think that God's gonna let you or allow you to experience these things, but he doesn't want you to share your testimony or your story? For years since I was little, I had never really told people a bunch of things that I had been going through, you know, spiritually, you know, things like that, things that most people would definitely say are like in the paranormal area or the supernatural realm. And I was like, you know what? Maybe he has a point. He's like, why would he let you just, or why would he want you to just not say anything? Yeah, you have the free will not to. I used to think, well, if I saw it, it's just for me and stuff like that. And then he was like, pretty much saying, no, like if you're going through these things, share them with the world because it might teach wisdom or a lesson to somebody else. So why not? It's not gonna hurt. Just why not? He's like, why not? So then, with this being said, this is pretty much like my first video coming out and being public with my experiences. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot left in the tank, but just stay tuned and all of that. So yeah, time I saw ghosts.